Philly to the Philly channel. We are going live right now, and we are going to be making sourdough bread, and we've been doing a lot of work with it up until now. So I did release a video that has all the beginning process from really Friday night, and then a lot of Saturday. As you said so well, it's not that it takes so long collectively, it's just lots of little moments that you need to kind of attend to it. So welcome to the stream. And I'm Philly. This is my cousin, my niece Erika, and she has been making sourdough since end of November, right? And we are all such fans of the loaves that she is making. And so I had said to her for a while now, I'm like, I need to know how to make this. So she is here today to share all of her expertise, and she's going to roll her eyes. But I think one of my biggest takeaways, and if you watch the video from part one, I know I mentioned it, is that I think the most important takeaway is that there's lots of wiggle room within the formula, which I think makes it approachable. At least for me, it does. So up until now, on Friday night, you gave me the starter. I fed the starter. We made the dough. Oh, hey, Poe. So Poe is my friend in South Africa.
Oh,
yes.
Hi.
And can you hear everything okay? Is our audio okay? I was just curious about that. Oh, and Eugenia. Yes, and she lives in Middle Oregon. Oh, it's so wonderful for you guys to hop on. So Eugenia, too, let me know, can you hear everything okay? So, so last night, or yesterday morning, we started the dough. So feeding the, yes, all is well. Wonderful. That's like the biggest worry you have with all this technical stuff with going live. So Friday night I fed it, and that was around, oh good, and Hubs gave us the thumbs up too. And we forgot to tell him that we were going live. Remember he said, he's like, tell us so we can check. Exactly. But in any event, so you gave me the starter, I fed the starter at, I think, in fact I wrote this down.
I think is when you texted me.
8 o'clock, and then at 9 a.m. you came over and we mixed together the dough, and we measured and mixed, and then we started the stretch and fold.
Autolyse.
The autolyse,
so letting the gluten develop, we let it sit for about a half an hour.
And then we kind of would each time like do this stretch and fold thing. And all of this is in part one. So obviously we can't show you this live because we already have done it, but I did make a video of all of our process. It is about 45 minutes long, but if you are a beginner and you feel intimidated, I think it's a great step-by-step of how to go through the process. And so now it's time to get in the oven, because we're going to talk more once we get in the oven, because we have some special things planned for today. So let us know what our next steps are.
Yeah, so this dough has been chilling in the fridge since about like 8:30 last night, 9 p.m. So we are going to...
And tell them what this thing is called.
So this is a banneton. It just helps the dough hold its shape. People use it differently. Some people proof the dough in it. We had already done like the bulk rise when we put it in, and just for holding its shape. And yeah, going in the fridge overnight to help with that and help develop more flavors.
And that I thought was interesting. And so if we let it go longer, it actually would have the opportunity to develop more flavor, but per the time of what we want to do. This would be okay too. So if you were ever like didn't have as much time, this would be fine for what we're doing. All right?
Yeah, so
let me bring it over so everyone can see. You can see here. And that is rice flour, right? That you have on the top. Yes. Okay, so what are our next steps then?
So I have a piece of parchment here, and we're going to just flip the dough onto the parchment. Here, the oven has been preheating with the Dutch oven inside, and it's at 450 right now. So we just have to prepare and score the dough so that it can bake.
And will this be the top then?
Yes.
Okay, so this will be top. And actually what's really cool because of the banneton is there's this what would you call that? Like almost rows,
like
lines from the banneton, which I never realized that's kind of what gives it some of that iconic look. And welcome, May. So glad you could join us, and glad the sound is good. Oh my gosh, some of my favorite ladies on right now. So awesome. All right. So then what can I do? Anything? Just Yeah, this you
so
need to do first.
I'll begin the process,
yes.
and if you want to hop in, I will show you how. This is a bread lame. It just makes scoring the bread a lot easier. It's a lot sharper and easier to make designs and stuff. We're going to keep it pretty simple and just do some nice little lines.
And you're going in pretty shallow.
Yeah,
for
the designs, we keep it shallow.
Gotcha.
And then I do some bigger scores near the end for the bread to like open up and expand.
And I'm going to move the camera just to kind of show what that would look like, because I can, since we have two there.
So we're just doing about 5 next to each other, and I do this 4 times around it.
Excellent.
Do you want to?
Yes, I would love to try.
Yeah?
So let me go bring this back where it was. Hopefully I can get everything to go back right. And if someone doesn't have this and they are wanting to make it, could they just use one of their sharper knives to try, or would it be best not to design, just to
wouldn't do designs because it's not going to cut quite as well. But yeah, so you can just do.
And then I'm going like with this part
shallow,
of the blade.
Yeah.
And just going like what you did, right? Is that too shallow?
No, that's fine.
Okay. And you did, let's see, 5.
Yeah.
1, 2. Oh, that was a little deep.
It's all right.
3, 4, 5.
Nice.
My side's not gonna look as pretty as yours, but that's okay. It all takes practice. I'm just gonna scooch like that.
Yeah.
1.
And then
2,
when you are
3,
finished with
4,
that,
5. Okay.
I'll do.
And should I do the other
Yeah.
side? Okay. Feeling.
I will do the deep scores in the middle, which really allow the bread to like
bloom and look gorgeous. Yes.
And after that, I'm going to move relatively quickly because it's going to start to fall apart.
Yeah.
So while I'm doing that, if you take the Dutch oven out, because I'm going to want to get it in there right away after I do these cuts.
So let me just, actually, want me to do that right now just so I can see the initial score? Let me get that out. So it has been this has been in here for almost 45 minutes. And it is at 450. It's a Dutch oven. It's hot, hot, hot. All right. Okay.
Okay. And so I usually just go then diagonal kind of through the cuts here.
Okay.
And I start shallow for both of them.
Yep.
Just to get the shape, and then I go in deeper.
Gotcha.
With the bread lame.
Do you know about how deep you probably go? Just deeper. A half inch? I think that's what I would have probably guessed.
I'm trying to go a little deeper. I just go a little slowly because I'm trying to hold the shape together.
And this certainly would be more of what it would be.
Yeah, traditionally, if we're just scoring it and we weren't doing the teaching, this whole process moves pretty fast because the bread does move. As you can see, it's kind of bulging out on the ends.
Yep.
Not going to affect the taste or anything, just might affect the shape, but it's all going to be good.
Gotcha.
So get a nice deep cut in the middle. And this is also, I should probably replace the blade. This one's a little old, but.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm going to stick it in.
Okay. Careful. We don't want to burn ourselves.
Nope. And then.
So we just put it inside the Dutch oven. And I'll put the lid on. Let me know when.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, because if the parchment's sticking in, then it's going to show in the shape.
Okay. Is the parchment good?
Yep.
I can just put it right on top like that. Should I like that?
That's all good.
Okay. I'm going to get it in here. And then tell a little bit about how long it bakes covered.
Yeah, so we're going to put it in for about 25 minutes covered.
25, you said?
Yeah, 25 minutes covered. And then I take the lid off. Well, you take it out kind of to check on the progress. And if it looks okay, which for me is just, it's not brown yet, but it's starting to like show signs of, we'll show it when it comes out, but like the little
triangles coming out. And we'll put it right here so y'all can see, and I'll move the camera.
Yeah, they're starting to pop up.
Okay.
And then I lower the heat a little to like 425.
Okay.
And then the lid off, put it back in.
Wonderful. Oh, I'm so excited. So we have the timer so we don't forget. But I just want to check out the chat right now. So again, it's really wonderful. And Poe, yes, I think you will find part 1 really interesting. And Eugenia says, I have everything but, is it the lame? What did you call the blade?
Oh, the bread lame.
Yes, the lame. I use a new razor blade meant for a box knife. Hey, that would work. Yeah. Absolutely. So, so a little bit then before we go into, because we are going to be making a delicious hummus that she's made and brought to the lake. A lot of you know that I go to the lake in the summertime. Her mom has a lake house there, her mom and dad do, and in any event, like we all like make and bring yummies to snack on, but one of the things that Erika has made, I don't know, the past couple of years is this really yummy spicy hummus. So she thought that would be a great thing for us to put on the bread, and of course I do have some salted butter because I know that's what Maddie will put on it because, you know, it's gonna.
I think butter or oil or just plain is the best way to like try the bread initially. That's
Yes.
how I always check for its flavor because
Absolutely.
it does turn out differently.
And we'll try that way first before we put the hummus on for sure. But the reason we have a long stream today is because even after it's done baking, before we cut into it, it needs to rest for an hour. So you know, with my streams, I like you to see the big ta-da at the end. So we will have that. So in the meantime, we're going to be making your hummus, and we are going to be making this little dish, if we have time, that I've been wanting to try. That was this trending rice paper noodle thing that I knew she would enjoy. And one of the reasons I knew she'd enjoyed it is because you're vegan. Yeah. And so she, how long have you been vegan now?
A little over 3 years.
A little over 3 years. Okay. And I know you were vegetarian before vegan, and I was wondering, like, what made you decide to go vegan from vegetarian?
So my reasoning for being vegetarian was like always ethical reasons for the animals.
Absolutely.
And I was doing that for 7 or 8 years at that point. And it was the pandemic, like right at the beginning of the pandemic, and
crazy time.
I was like, well, now as good a time as any. I have plenty of time to try new recipes and make things I enjoy. So it was actually a pretty easy transition. I thought it would be a lot harder than it was, but I really don't miss that much, honestly. It's just like the practicality of it when you're ordering out and you have to check all the ingredients because like milk and eggs hide in everything.
Everything, absolutely. And in fact, we've gone and tried a couple delicious places around the city. And I remember when we went to, I think it's called Charlie, the other Sinner.
Charlie was a Sinner, yeah.
Charlie was a Sinner in Philadelphia. And one of the things that you said, which I just resonated, is it was so nice to sit down and not have to worry about like what she could eat on the menu, that you could eat all of it. So I just thought that was great. And I give you great props because you and your sister, because Bethany, who was on about last year, we made tortillas and we did it through Zoom. And black bean taco, it was just delicious. And that elote, yes. So both you and Bethany have done your research with everything. Like, it just impresses me. What you guys know, what you guys have learned. So I think that's awesome. And so then this bread making, though, had you made many kinds of breads before the sourdough?
Not.
What's that?
Read Archie's.
Uh-oh, here we go. Well, first answer that. I'll let you answer that first, then I'll read Archie's.
Okay.
Archie, I'm getting to your comment.
So I hadn't made tons of bread. I made focaccia a few times, gluten-free focaccia a couple times because my mom and sister are gluten-free.
Yes.
And then regular, just yeasted focaccia. I made sourdough focaccia a few months ago. Once I had my starter.
Like
oh my gosh, it was so much better.
So could I do that with the starter? Because now I have a starter
Yeah.
that is going to be my aim to keep alive, and be purposeful with it.
Yeah, and
That's
then I made a
exciting.
few just like, I think the
You've done
recipes
pizza
were
dough,
called pizza dough, artisan loaves, which were good because they're still homemade bread, better than store-bought, but the sourdough just has more flavor.
It's
I find,
amazing,
so.
yes. And May, I know that you do, you bake a lot of bread, and Eugenia and Poe, I was wondering if you enjoy baking bread also. And I hear my friend Archie is on, so Archie loves the pretzels. Once I made pretzels, he said, Erika, can you make pretzels? Because I've been waiting for what seems like a lifetime for your Auntie Philly to send me one. So Archie's my friend across the pond in England. Eugenia is in Oregon, and then May is, I think, in California. So we have like all stretched out people coming in to say hi.
Yeah, I have not made pretzels. I've thought about it because one of my friends
When I made you that pretzel, so
Yeah,
Arch, when I made the pretzels for the Super Bowl, I kept, and you guys remember watching, I kept 2 of them without the egg wash so that it could stay vegan, because that was the only part of it that wouldn't have been vegan then.
Yeah. But my friend has been on me about making them, and I told her that I will make them with her, but she's in med school, so she's busy.
Yes,
so
it makes it difficult. And I will say, one of the things I love about your family, my sister's family, is that, you know, there's dietary restrictions on all of you except for Dad, but it is a great, happy family. And so I know you and Bethany are on your own now, but it just shows that I just feel like, you know, I'm a bleeding heart here. I feel like we can all get along. We can all eat what we need to eat, take care of ourselves, and enjoy meals together, because I think that's one of the things that's great about meals is kind of brings everybody together. Well, awesome. Let's see here. And Poe says, I enjoy making bread, but it's been a while. Yeah, so the breads I've most made have been quick breads, but then I have done pizza dough. Of recent, I've done pretzels back when I was near the beginning of teaching, because that was such a great thing to share with kids, like a simple pretzel recipe. Archie, not the kind of pretzels that you would find drool worthy. But and then this fall I made the Bavarian style, which is a little different, and then I made the like authentic soft chewy pretzel, which was really yummy. So definitely comfortable with that. And other than that, I did try making focaccia once, and it was okay. It wasn't as good as I would like, so I'm very excited because you have a good focaccia recipe that you've used that I'll have to try, and I've got to try the sourdough. You have to let me know how to do that when that time comes. So let's get to work on this hummus, because my stomach is already growling at that. Okay, so your hummus, I'll go over so our friends can hear. By the way, as always, I take care of everyone that comes on. Down below, you'll find all the information for this stream. I have a lot of detailed information about sourdough making, sharing the tips and the links that Erika told me about. Some of them included how to initially start a starter, and the first beginner's sourdough recipe she tried, and then she went to another sourdough recipe, which I have there, and then you've kind of tweaked it to make it your own. And then and then we also showed the stretch and fold. We found a good video for stretch and fold there too, and as well as the tools. I put a link for a banneton. I put a link for this thing.
The bench scraper?
Yes, this great little, remember the one that was like actually for dishes, but is perfect for dough. Yes, so she is I don't have the bench scraper link, but if you just look up bench scraper on Amazon, or if you go to a local store, but this one's really cool. It's by Oxo, and I saw how you used it kind of getting some of the dough out, or getting some of that dough into the regular loaf, which was cool. So I actually want to order myself one of those. And then also the digital scale, because for baking, a digital scale is also really ideal. And so all that is on the part 1 video. So I felt like it was going to be a little lengthy putting all that also on the part 2. But here I had to pin her down for some measurements, but just like most things that home cooks do, it's to taste. So keep that in mind when you're making it, if you want to make this delicious hummus. And then the other thing is the recipe that I'm going to be, if we have time, making. So let's get to your, what would you call it? Harissa basil hummus. So in our hummus that she makes, you do 1 can of chickpeas, 1 can of cannellini beans, tahini, harissa, fresh lemon juice, garlic, and basil. And I figured salt and pepper, right?
Salt, yeah, pepper,
no pepper.
Usually if I have the harissa.
That's why I put a question mark. Oh, right, exactly. Okay.
I usually forget the ingredients until I start making it, and then I taste it, I'm like, no, I need to add that.
And she's so good at that. Like that's the thing that is wonderful about cooking, is really at the end of the day, it's all about the tasting, right? Okay, so here we have, so we're going to try it in the food processor, yes? Okay, so we've got this, and of course, you'll get to witness me struggling putting the lid on, which is what I usually do. And we've got all the ingredients here, and I've got this to dump out our beans into. So we have everything here. All right, there's garlic.
Oh, cute.
So first we're going to drain our beans.
Yeah.
You want me to hold this, and then I will rinse them?
Yeah.
And rinse them, right, too?
Yeah.
Okay. You're probably like, it's not really that fussy.
Yeah, I mean, I usually rinse them.
That's right.
How thoroughly, it depends on if I want to dirty a colander.
Right, exactly, because you could just try to let it come out that way.
Yeah, and then
like just draining it with the lid.
This is also for a larger recipe, so we're using 2 cans. You can do 1 can, and then of either one. Truly, I've done with just chickpeas, just cannellinis. So,
especially if people don't care for a certain bean, they could just do the other. And really, you could play around with all the different kinds of beans there are, you know. And if you wanted to cook your beans fresh, you could do that. There's all sorts of
rehydrating
options.
from dried is always good, but we're low effort here.
Yes.
So I might can just bring this over to kind of pour in.
Sounds
Should I
good.
get a
So when
spatula?
you get these in, there we go. Okay, so we got our 2 cans of beans in there. And then, what would you usually put in next? And you're going to eyeball it, right, sweetie?
Yeah.
I love that. I think, go ahead, just tell
we'll
them.
do the lemon juice next, actually.
Okay, let me
I
get
was going to do the tahini, but
There we go.
just great. Oh,
I've got
yes,
a
citrus
knife.
reamers, great.
Yes, that's one of my favorite tools, to be honest.
No, I would never go back. We'll start with a half, but I really think we're going to need the full lemon. It just really brightens it up.
And it depends on, like, we were talking, like, your tang level. My friends here know that oftentimes when I make dressings, I make them tangier than the directions. So it's really depending upon, like, what you all like, which I think is awesome. Let's see here. I think DS is on. I think I missed it. So let me get back here. DS, oh, welcome. Oh my gosh, I've missed a lot. Let's see here. So you keep making and interrupt me when you're adding something.
Okay, I'm adding the tahini now.
Wonderful.
And
It's about a quarter cup.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Let's go back a little bit. So DS and his wife Ruby live in New York City.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and Junior was saying that with... Oh, it was bad. Oh no, my Harissa is like,
I wouldn't look
it's terrible. Okay, so this is life. You open your Harissa and you're like, ooh, it has passed its prime. So we have a couple options. I have a lot of different chili paste. I'm sorry, sweetie, I should have checked. And we were looking at it, by the way, we were looking at this yesterday, and I didn't even think to peek inside.
Do you have roasted red peppers?
I do have roasted red peppers. I also have, this sambal oleg. I've got, those are really, really hot. I do have a can of roasted red peppers in here though too. Let me get that. Because you're looking to kind of create our own harissa, so to speak. Is that what
I was just gonna switch and do like a roasted red pepper basil, but
yeah. But
this smells good.
We should add a little heat though. Maybe do both.
Yeah.
You think? Because that is powerful. It's delicious.
Okay.
And do you want to? Let me give you a little spoon so you can kind of taste it. So you. It's up to you, just so you have an idea of how hot or, like for amounts and stuff. I'm sorry, you know what, it wouldn't be a Philly stream if there wasn't some sort of, like a little trouble elf that likes to make things exciting. Okay, so we might need to ask Hubs. Nope, we got that.
Nice.
All right, so yes. So see, this is what happens in the kitchen, right? You come across something and you're like, oh, we need to substitute. So we're going to put some red peppers, and some are yellow, so there'll be a little bit of both.
I guess I'll get a spoon for this. I don't know that I need to try it. It smells very similar to that stuff I got at Trader Joe's.
It's delicious. It just packs a punch for sure.
I'll just start with a little bit.
Yeah, it's delicious, and we can add more. Yeah, it's delicious. Though.
Okay,
and it has like a nice almost brininess to it.
We'll do the garlic next, though.
Okay.
We'll start with the clove. I'd rather under season at the beginning than over season.
And by the way, I just wanted to let you know that Eugenia has 5 daughters, and when they were home, they baked a lot. She doesn't do it much now. There's just 2 of us. I totally hear you, Eugenia. I think a lot of things change when it's empty nesting time. And then she says, I'd like to delve into sourdough, but it's a commitment for sure. Oh, thank you, Diaz. He says, a lot of pretty in that kitchen. Good-looking family. Oh, and I think they just gave Hubs a little jab, because Poe says, Diaz, there's only 2 pretty ladies in that kitchen, and he said exactly my point. Oh my goodness, you guys are awesome. Focus on the subject. All right.
I'm gonna get salt.
And then Eugenia says, I recently started making hummus because I found myself with an abundance of canned chickpeas. It's it's an amazing difference between fresh and the stuff you buy in the store. That is for sure.
I do still love certain store-boughts. They just taste different, and sometimes it's nice after having a lot of homemade to have something a little different.
I agree.
Trader Joe's has a layered hummus that I absolutely love.
Ooh, what's it layered with?
It's like a 3-layer, so it's plain, it's red pepper, and a cilantro lime jalapeno.
Nice.
So that one,
so you get a little spice, which is good.
It's not too spicy, but it's flavor.
So for those out of the States, we have a store called Trader Joe's that's throughout most of the country. It's not as common as like seeing as many grocery stores as you would have, as many markets. However, it is just a trove of deliciousness and wonderful products there. So they always have great stuff. And then Archie was asking about Uncle Andy. So he's not been banished, but he's taking a little break until Matt gets here. So Maddie's going to join us because he definitely wants to taste the bread. So whenever we're making something really yummy, Maddie will come and check it out. So around 3-ish, not 3-ish, around 2-ish is when Maddie should get here. And then I'm sure Hubs will come out of banishment.
I know we are going to need more.
More which?
Lemon, salt, flavor.
Okay.
But
all right.
I'm just going to do the initial blend.
I think that's great because I feel like doing the initial and then tasting it is always a great way to start. And here's a little tasting fork. And actually, I'm going to get one for me too. I know. Don't. You know what? It is a pain in the patootie. Here, you got it. Here,
I just don't want to break it.
Oh no, you're fine. This is the bane of my existence. I'm just not even going to tell you. And we will. The good news is it always figures out. I think I just got it there. Wait. Yep. Nope. Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
So we should have little music playing, like from the Goofy music from
Jeopardy?
Yeah. Oh, Jeopardy would be great. But I was even thinking of, there was this show that was on late night when I was a little girl called, Friends. What was that late night show that I know I always felt like I shouldn't be watching? And it had, Benny Hill. We should have Benny Hill music. There we go. We got it.
Yay.
It is on. Okay. So let me at least get it on here, and then you can. Oh my gosh. It is just comical, friends. This is why I hate this thing.
Okay.
Let me just plug her in, and then you can manage everything else.
And we didn't add the basil yet. That we'll do last.
Yes, I'll get the basil out here. Okay, so did y'all enjoy that little song and dance of Philly unable to...
Can I start it?
Yep. If it's not all the way in, it won't. Oh, no, you push. You push. Okay, so something's not in, right? There you go.
Okay.
It is persnickety, for sure. Let's see what it has. Exactly, Archie. That's why he's banished. Oh, LOL. Welcome to the stream. I'm so glad you popped in. Thank you so much. I know. I'm telling you, these food processors. Ugh.
Sorry, it's going to be loud a little more.
Yep, no worries. The food processors, I love the idea of them, but for me, getting mine to start or to fix up. In fact, if you all have recommendations of food processors you like that are easier to utilize, please pop it down below. I would love that. That would be awesome. I'd love to know that because this one needs to get replaced. It is just a naughty food processor every time. I'm going to get you a spatula, by the way, in case you... There you go.
Normally I take off the lid more and scrape it down more, but with the effort it took to get on this lid, we're going to see how smooth I can get it first.
Sorry about that. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Still not fully smooth, but I think it's mixed enough to at least taste it so we can try to
That's a good idea.
adjust.
So you know what? We're going to put it down like that so that when we put it back on, we just kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like so we're going to
try to.
The color's nice.
Stir in here.
It kind of is
you
salmony.
can see it's still not
there's still some beans.
Smooth, yeah.
There's yours.
Okay, I'm sure it needs more lemon, more salt, something.
I think it could use a little more spice. Spice is good, but
lemon.
Oh, basil too will be. Basil will take it over the edge.
Yeah, it's not very spicy.
When do you put the basil in?
When I remember.
Okay. Do you want me to get any off just so we can?
Yeah, we can add some in now. I'm definitely going to add the other half of the lemon because
You should. I think it is your recipe. You make it how you want it.
There.
I always love what you make.
It tastes different every time because ingredients change and I don't know.
Both girls are super creative, and they get that from their mama because my sister, as I've mentioned on the stream, is an awesome cook, and one of the things that I love that she does so much easier than I do is she improvises. It's taken me a long time to feel comfortable improvising. I'm definitely one of those, follow the recipe people. So at my age, I've gotten braver with experience, but Nancy has been brave always. Like she's improvised whether she was playing an instrument or cooking. She's just one of those people that feels comfortable doing all that. Let me break these up anymore, just like that.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a good start.
We'll start that. Perfect.
Another thing that I've done a few times, I don't know how much it changes because I change so many.
I'll figure that out.
I change so many other things about my hummus regularly.
Yeah.
But I've seen tips online about using ice cubes to help blend it and smooth it out. So we might try that on the end.
Okay.
Depending on the
texture.
texture.
And we definitely have those. So here's a little noisiness. Let's see here. And LOL said that's the best way to do it, improvising. That's what I always do, and I tell people to make the recipe right. Yeah, yeah. And I will say, LOL, I'm the kind of person that oftentimes, if I'm trying a recipe, I will try it their way the first time and then make adjustments later. I think the main thing is that sometimes I'm doing a recipe and I just know for my taste I need to adjust it right off the bat. But I like to give it a chance and just see if I learn something new.
I might just try to add one.
Yeah, so 1.
2.
There we go. I love this little tip. So this is going to help it
I've heard it helps with texture, smoothing. Again, I don't know, but
I love trying things. It's funny, I was wondering if we would hear it, but we haven't heard it like hit the blades yet, so it'll be interesting. Oh, GS, I'll let Erika know about that. So GS was saying that he was a chef at a vegan restaurant years ago, and he used to make a Chipotle hummus. Big seller.
Nice.
How's it look?
It doesn't look super smooth yet. I can take it out and scrape it down a little
Yeah,
more.
let's scrape it down because I don't have, besides being a terrible lid matching thing, you probably have a much better one than I do.
I have a Ninja blender, a pretty high-powered one that does make a pretty good hummus. So
and it does seem thick. Is the way? Oh, I see. There's some of the.
Yeah, you can thin it with water or other
things.
Yeah, I don't know if the ice cubes are chopping very well.
Yeah, I think they're
not. But you can always add water, or some people add olive oil. I don't prefer to add olive oil to mine because I think it can kind of take over flavor-wise.
Yep.
But.
And I have some neutral flavor oil if you want to add a little touch of that too. We can always try that.
Yeah, if I'm just thinning it, I usually do water.
Gotcha.
I find it suffices.
Yeah.
But again, it depends what texture you like your hummus.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Did that behave?
Yeah.
Good. And let's see here. I know, right? I wish I could. I'm so sorry about that. So it's a little bit, what would we say? Very ASMR, but not from the good food stuff, just from the machine stuff. And LOL said, Chipotle hummus is delicious. I do it myself. I love it. And the people that I serve it to love it as well. I love Chipotle. That is delicious. And Diaz said in Israel, we put ice cold water. It gives it a great hue and smooths it out. Oh, yeah. So that's what she's doing now. She's grabbing water from the Brita.
Yep.
There we go. Perfect. That's perfect. And then Archie said Hubs would love it thinned with gin. You're probably right, Arch. And LOL says, always keep one bottle in the fridge and one bottle outside the refrigerator. Usually when I do the hummus, I use the one that's in the refrigerator to smooth it out even smoother. Yes. Awesome. That's great. It's moving more.
Yeah, it's quite a bit thinner now, as you can.
Ooh, I think
yeah,
I know.
like,
so we'll pause that. So we're pausing the hummus, and I'm going to, here, we just want to move this a little bit out of the way. We'll tidy it fully later, just because in case we need any of these ingredients. We'll just keep them close, and I'll put this here. And you got that? That's fine. That's fine. We're flexible. We're good. And I'm going to get it out. And we're going to take a peek, friends, and I will, once I put it down, I'll bring the camera over so they can see too. Oh, it smells really good. My neighbors are going to hate me. Now, of course, this is super hot. Oh, my word.
Here,
Ah. Okay, there you go. If you need any of those. Let me bring the camera. You guys have all got to see this. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. That looks beautiful. Gorgeous. I'll get the timer off. Okay.
Okay, I just turned it down to 425.
All right,
so
perfect.
Yep, it looks ready for us to have the lid off, so I'm gonna stick it back.
You got it?
In the oven? Yeah.
There we go. Okay, excellent. And how long should I set the timer for?
I would do 15.
15?
Okay. Yeah, because I've set it for 10 before, but I really never find it ready at 10. So.
Perfect, and we'll move this over in case we need.
Give this one more spin and then we're gonna try it
That
again.
sounds good. You're helping me multitask. I love it. Let's see here. Yes, I have. Yes, it's nice because it's a slim Brita DS.
Okay.
So DS says he was very skilled. He was very impressed with your skills when forming the dough. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Eugenia says, I mix the tahini with lemon juice first, then add to the chickpeas. I use lots of garlic and lemon, and yes, I pick out the skins.
Awesome. I have heard that makes a big difference. I don't have the motivation to do so, I'm afraid.
I've heard it too. Oh, it's so much, oh my gosh. The basil, though, like that just brightens it up. Like different than lemon.
Huge, yeah.
But it just gives it that herbaceousness. Oh, that's really good. What do you think it needs? Because I can tell mine's
No, I don't think it needs anything. I always also adjust it to what I'm making it with. So when I'm having it with carrots, I have a saltier hummus because it doesn't. But if I'm having it with something like bread or crackers.
And the good news is you could always take that base and then add salt if you're like just before you use as a dip or something.
I think this is plenty salty.
That is really tasty. Oh, I like that so much.
But the texture needs work. It is not smooth enough.
All right, okay.
So I'm just going to keep puring it a little bit longer.
That sounds good. So you know what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to turn off your thing because that'll help with the sound, and we'll turn you back on. We'll turn you back on once it's done. I think that'll just help with that. So cool. Do you need any of the water? So she's working the texture.
I don't think I need any more water.
Okay.
It's not pretty thin, but it's
awesome. So while Erika is thinning out the texture, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the next recipe. So the next recipe that we're going to do is this one that I saw online, and it's with rice paper noodles. To show you. Actually, we take that out. Okay. So rice paper noodles are the kind of pasta that's used when you're making summer rolls. Also, if you make spring rolls and fry them, that's the kind of noodles you'd use. So as Erika had mentioned, her mom, my sister, is gluten-free, and so is her sister. And you know, one of the things I think they miss most about when you're gluten-free is they miss that feeling of pasta that oftentimes a wheat pasta has. And while there are definitely, they've improved the options of gluten-free pastas, and also they have rice noodles that they can eat, you still miss some of the unctuousness of like a thicker, wider pasta. And what I'm excited about for this is this hack teaches you how to make a thicker pasta using rice paper, and then you kind of are making your own, basically, pappardelle in a way, but it's made with rice noodles. So that's going to be the recipe that I'm going to be sharing with you. Down below, I have the link of the recipe, which is made for like 4 servings. I'm going to just make 1 serving for she and I to taste, and also Andy and Matt to taste, because we've already had lunch, so we didn't want to have like a whole bunch of pasta. I mean, don't get me wrong, I could swift that down really quick, but knowing that we have bread coming and we have hummus and all this other yumminess, we just wanted to give it a taste and see if it was good as it looks. And just knowing that there's this idea of a way to give you more texture, especially for people that are gluten-free. I know one of my friends is celiac, so she, you know, it's very serious with someone that has celiac disease. Well, it's amazing the difference. How smooth it. Are you happy?
I'm not happy.
So I think, don't you think part of it is my machine?
Yeah,
I think
that's kind of why
my machine sucks.
It doesn't suck. It's
no, it kind of does. It's old, hon. It's okay. It sucks. So Christmas idea, new food processor for Auntie. So yes, that would be great. So I'm going to rinse this and taste it again. There we go. It looks beautiful though. It's got a gorgeous color. In fact, let me bring it up to the thing first to show everyone. It's gorgeous color. You can see. And I love the little flecks of green from the basil. I love basil. To me, basil screams summer, and I'm so excited for the warm weather. I think it's delicious. It is so good. I'm going to get another swoop on the other side, so I'll double dip.
It's definitely smoother than it was before. So
it is. That is delicious. But you know what? You have been talking to me for a while about making my own hummus, and now I could say I just procrastinated, which I did. But part of it is I really don't have the good tools. So I think so the Ninja though is more of a blender style, right? But that works really, really well.
Yeah. So I mean, they do have Soul food processors. Mine has like a travel smoothie cup, a full like blender, and then one that is more of a food processor.
Okay.
It's the same settings on the Ninja, but
so it does have like one that way I could get the uses of some different things. All right.
And mine, I mean, I think I got it from my other grandma during like a Black Friday sale.
Yeah.
But it was significantly down, and it's a great value.
And maybe even this summer they'll have it for the like Christmas and July sales that they have a lot now. By the way, so do you want to put some of that in here for later, and then we'll put the rest in a container?
Are you gonna fall out on me? Guess we'll find out.
I would just get some of it in there, and then I'll pull out the blade, and we'll put the rest of it in.
Like this or more?
I'll put just a little more, just so
Looks.
it looks prettier. Yeah, perfect. That's good. So let me get out a proper container. And actually, I'm just going to do this so you can take it home. Well, I'm going to ask to save some, but I figure you've got to take some too, like for your yummiest. So I'll do the dirty work. How about that?
I don't mind.
Do you want to just take the spoons out and just throw everything in the sink, because we just kind of deal with all that stuff later. So we're just going to take off the hummus and get this in here, one of these old Chinese food containers, which make great to save, because actually I use some of them for my lunch every day when I make salad, but also they're great for making food more portable for your guests if they're bringing leftovers. There we go. I'm just going to give this a quick rinse so it doesn't become like glue. Your uncle gets very obsessed about things sticking too much, because he does help wonderfully with the cleaning. Oh, you know what? I'll turn on your microphone. I just realized that. But I did think that would help a little. Friends, did that help having the microphone off? Was I far enough away? You got it? The power one, yeah. I think it's that one. There we go. So you might have to press and hold it. There we go. And then the green light should pop on. Perfect. Let me just double check, make sure everything's good.
Hello.
Say it again.
Hello?
Yep, it works. Perfect. But he is a dear to help with all the dishes. That's why I keep him, Archie, right? I make the mess, he cleans it up. It's a great partnership. And of course, he helps me eat it too. Thank goodness, because otherwise, oh my gosh, there'd be a problem. Houston, we would have a problem. Okay, wow, this makes a ton. And I know we use 2 cans of beans.
Yeah,
oh yeah, we're definitely, I mean, I would love to definitely keep some, but that's too, I wouldn't be able to go through all that. But this is now going to, I'm going to be, I'm thinking about the different wraps I can make for lunch. I'm also going to bring some veggies and dip. Absolutely delicious. I'm going to actually give this to your uncle to lick because he will be so happy about that. I'll be right back. Of course, my mic's on, so I've got to watch what I'm saying. Hey, babe, this is her delicious hummus. I thought you might want the spatula. It's delicious. Okay. So, excellent, excellent, excellent. Let me just give this a quick rinse again so it doesn't all stick. So, Erika, while you were whizzing things up, and I don't know if anyone could hear me chatting, you know me, I just aim to kind of keep the chat going. But this recipe is basically we are going to use water to have the different rice paper become one big noodle, and then we're going to cut it. Now you could make it whatever size you want, but I like a pappardelle width, and that's what Look At You did originally in her video. So I'm going to be making it be quite wide so that it's super yummy. So I'm going to put this over here for once we taste the bread. So I have not tried this technique yet. I've watched your video countless times, and so we're going to give it a go. So the link is below. We will be putting a spicy, you know, kind of like chili crisp sauce on it, which I think will be really cool. Let me check out the chat real quick before I move on. Archie advised me, oh, Amy's on. So Amy is Archie's daughter. Hi, Amy. Welcome. It's so good to have you here watching the stream. And let me see here. Phil, when Hubs is asleep, take his credit card and buy a Mega Mix. Is that a really good one, Arch? Tell him it'll make great cocktails. Actually, that is a good tip. I think that's a good tip. That's going to get him totally on board. And then LOL says, when I'm looking at her when she's pouring it in, it looks thin, or probably is that camera too far? I can see it. Yeah, no, it's perfect. It is.
It's also a little thinner now, but when it gets in the fridge,
yes,
it's a lot thicker.
Exactly. And then, so read this, Erika.
So I like seitan and tempeh.
Yes.
Seitan is not my favorite because it has too meaty of a texture for me, which even when I ate meat, I didn't really like it. It was more my parents being like, you have to eat it or you can't leave the table.
Yeah.
Tempeh I do like. I use tofu more frequently because it's easier for me to prepare. But I do like tempeh. I do a red pepper balsamic like herb tempeh that I really like, but I don't make it as frequently as I make tofu.
What is your favorite thing to make with tofu?
I don't know.
Well, think about it. If you think about it, like
I just use it for everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I have a favorite. It's just like.
Or is there something you're kind of into now that's your go-to that you just find is really satisfying?
It's just whatever I'm in the mood for, like lots of curries or just stir-fry dishes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's an excellent cook. No matter what she makes, it's always very tasty. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is we are going to be dipping 5 of these into warm water and then placing them on top of each other and then smoothing them out. What we want is one, I don't know if this is the right word, but like amalgamous mass of rice noodle. So just a little bit in here.
Cheesecake with tofu. I have had a tofu cheesecake before. I haven't made one because I'm not the biggest cheesecake fan, but I've had a bite and it was pretty good.
Okay. And then I'm going to put this down here. Can you actually hand me the one so your hands stay dry? There we go. So now we're on number 2. And now this is just a cake pan of my grandma's.
On the bread.
Oh, yes. How are we on time?
We have like 3 minutes left.
Okay.
But I might be inclined to take it out now due to your oven being better than mine.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So now I'm just trying to smush out the bubbles. So you want to take it out and put it on there? Yep. There we go. Let me move it right here. We'll take a pause on this. Just smushing out the bubbles on this, by the way. Oh, I got to get the camera. Oh my gosh. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
We're gonna put it to rest on a...
Here, I'll get you something for that. Let's get this first. So is it done now?
Looks done to me.
It looks done. Look how gorgeous. All right. So you tell me, what would be best for it to rest on? Because I've got wired ones. Is that what you want?
Those are great.
Yep. I'll grab that.
I'll just take it out.
Let me get one. I've got just a few.
Oops.
Okay. And then would you like that over over there all the way or over here?
Yeah.
I guess we can just put it here. Just move this. There you go. Okay. Excellent.
It's a little square, but
that's okay.
Still
It'll taste
good.
good. Let me show everyone. Look how gorgeous that is. So beautiful. And you know what? Like, because I know this is definitely, maybe it's because I'm a bit square. Because I know that's a corny joke. Matt would totally roll his eyes at me. But, you know, yours have never, like yours look much more traditional,
I've
round
had square
shape.
ones before.
But the main thing is that it's how it tastes, right? And as we talk about here, because we make pizzas or anything, it's about being, you know, it's rustic. When it's homemade, it isn't processed in some, you know, factory where it's all going to look the same. So, all right, so I'm on now layer 3. I'm just going to continue.
Can you leave it to rest on my plate?
Yes. Who said that? Oh, is it Matthew? Matthew, welcome to the stream. I'm so glad you joined. And then just pop that. I think it's if you pop that off. No, pop it off.
Would it pop?
So hit on off again.
Oh.
Yeah, and then see right on the left.
Clear?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. No, trust me.
It's
it took
too
me
high tech for me.
No, it took me forever. It was horrible. So that's the third one. I'm trying to keep it like right on top, but I'm not a perfectionist, so that's the way it's going to be. All right. So now we're on layer 4. And what can you remember what Matthew said there?
Hello, a delicious bread. We got sandwiches for Sunday. I'm at work right now, so I will see the video later.
Wonderful. That's awesome. And what did Amy say? A Bizix.
It looks absolutely gorgeous, mouth-watering.
Oh, thank you, Amy. It'll be delicious. This is the hard part now is waiting for it. 'Cause you have to wait an hour, right? Yes,
Yep.
That's what I thought.
So what time is it? 1:53, so 2:50.
Yep. So right at the end of the stream, because I told her it's going to probably take 2 hours for everything. All right, so now before I add the last layer, I'm trying to get these air bubbles out the best I can. I saw her do this in the video. So I'm just smooshing out these air bubbles to try to, again, make it one like amalgamous noodle. I'm doing a little bit of a horrible job keeping these all like in total order. In other words, they're not overlapped exactly on each other. I see some edges, but it is what it is. How bad can it be, I would say, right?
It's
And one
noodles,
more.
yeah.
It is noodles, so that's all good. Okay. Let me get this. There we go. There's nothing like the scent of fresh bread baking, you know?
Yeah, whenever
To me, that's
we
the
do
best.
it in our apartment, it's always a good time.
It's funny when I was with your folks when we were in Baltimore the other weekend, we were walking around. I think it was it was before breakfast because we were hungry. We'd not had anything to eat. And we just, no matter what block we walked, we had the most wonderful smell of bread, and it was driving us crazy. It was instantly making our mouths water. It was instantly making us hungry. And of course, your poor mama, you know, with being gluten-free, it was cruel. So then we realized when we got to the breakfast place, it was right next to this bread factory. So, because we're like, is everyone making baked bread there in Baltimore? Is that a thing?
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm just squishing this.
Yeah, she takes her gluten pills to
Yes!
try my bread usually when I bring
She
it home
does.
fresh.
Yeah, she did that for Archie. She did that for the pretzels also. She took the gluten ones, and she took them a couple times that weekend for a couple of things, and I think it actually worked quite well, which is nice. Because she's not celiac, she really does not agree with it, or it does not agree with her. It really makes her feel quite lousy. but she does miss, she's gotten used to it. She's done that for years. So I think it's all done. So let me show you what I've done here. Now it's funny, when I saw her video, she was talking about how she did them one at a time, but then when I read her directions on the link below, that is her recipe, she talks about putting all 5 in there for 10 seconds. So I just was doing it the way I saw her do it on her video, but I could definitely try the other way and see if that worked too. But let me put the cover on this because I find that these tend to get funky.
Humid and
they don't get covered. And this one is a little bit of a pain in the butt doing.
Yes,
you've had those? Yes. So Erika is going to take me down to, what was the little market that you were talking? I'm going to cover that too so it doesn't get a skin on it.
Are you talking about like the
in South Philly?
Oh, okay. So at FDR Park in South Philly, there is a Southeast Asian food market.
Yeah.
I think every weekend in the summer. So they have lots of vendors cooking food, craft vendors, and a few grocery type things. And yeah, me and my roommate went a couple weeks ago, and it was really cool.
And she was showing me pictures.
Yeah, she got to try more food than I did just because I wasn't sure exactly what I could eat. Fish sauce is definitely one of the risks I would take there.
Yes, exactly.
But she really loved what she got, and it was still cool to just walk through.
And you were telling me that that was definitely something that she thought I'd like to check out. So I think that would be awesome. So now I'm just going to fill a bowl of cold water. And once we cut these noodles, they're going to hang out here until we're ready to use them. And that way they won't stick because, I can feel they're gummy. Okay, so she did it in 5 strips. So I'm just going to do the middle first with a sharp knife. And then I'm going to estimate. You know what? I'm going to keep it easier. I'm going to do 8 because then I can do better math like with this. So I don't want to try to make 5 out of that. And actually, I like the width of that better too. Although these are a little wide. Okay, I'm going to change that rule. That's the thing is when we're cooking, we can do whatever we want, right, Erika? That's the fun part about being the chef is you get to make the decisions. DS and Archie, did you like that about being a chef? Did you like being able to make those decisions? I'm curious about that. All right, and so now that we've cut them, then we're going to be pulling up the strips and putting each of the noodles in there.
Oh, so it's a big thick noodle.
It's a big thick noodle.
Okay.
But it gives, let me show you all, but it becomes much thicker, so it gives you more of that texture that you might be interested in. So if you want to pull up any of these noodles, just to kind of see. But I just thought texturally, like your mama, I thought she would really enjoy that. So yeah, go from that side.
I've tried to make noodles out of these before, but they were always mushy. But I
Look how cool this is.
You don't cook them in the sauce. You said you were going to add the sauce on top.
Correct, yes.
That sounds like a key.
But I was telling Erika that I would like to try to make some pot stickers this way. I actually found a recipe that used this technique, except for I think she used 3. So 5 I think would be a little thick for a pot sticker dough, but 3 I think would be just right. So do they feel like they're pretty separate? Yeah, so there we go. Okay, so that step is done. The next step is going to be getting our bowl. And we're going to be getting our ingredients out for our sauce. And then what's going to happen is we're going to drain those. We're going to put them in the bowl. We are going to put the ingredients onto the noodles. I'm going to heat up some oil. And then we are going to drizzle that hot oil on to bloom everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you add the oil on top of the noodles.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to use this bowl because it'll be much easier to mix. So let's get wider. I tend to pick like too small bowls and then... And then everything is falling out and making a mess. So I'm going to be smarter this time. Oh, and I also have, how close is it to 2 o'clock? Oh, it is good because I figured I also got everyone chopsticks so they could all taste it. But let me tell you about the ingredients. So our ingredients in here are going to be, we've got, let me keep those over here. We've got dark soy sauce. We have light soy sauce, and I think that I might need more in that one. We've got rice vinegar, and I have balsamic, and I'll tell you why in just a second. We have some Korean red pepper, so you definitely want to make sure this is gochujang. I can never say it. Gochujang.
I'm not
I
really
think
sure.
Gochujang. I just am terrible at pronouncing. But it's a spicy Korean chili pepper, and then also some red pepper for texture. Now, if you want to keep it super simple, you could just toss these in Arch, one of our favorite things, chili crisp. And there's so many different varieties. But I wanted to show this because not everyone has chili crisp. And I'm anxious to see how much, it's not going to be just like the yummy chili crisps that I've had, but I want to see like how, and give you guys input on how close it is to like that chili crisp experience. Then you're going to add we're going to add a little sugar to help balance. And then we're going to garnish it with sesame seeds and then cilantro. So I've got cilantro frozen because one of my hacks, I don't know if you actually might be interested in this. Whenever I have fresh herbs, I cut them, like if I'm not using, ones I'm not using, the cleaned, I cut them, I make sure they're dry. So after cleaning, just make sure they're plenty dry. And then I freeze them all. So let me just show you, like here I've got, and here I have dill, chives, cilantro, parsley, basil.
Nice.
Now what happens, especially the basil this happens most with, is basil gets a lot darker when it, comes, defreezes. Then the other ones darken a little bit, but basil is the one that does the most. But basil kind of does that anyway.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when I chop basil, it can kind of darken a little bit. So we'll garnish it with sesame seeds and some fresh cilantro. So let me get my measurements for things. Oh, and some fresh garlic. So I'm going to get my microplane out. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be lazy and put this guy back. Oh, no, it's over here. And I'm going to get my little garlic puree. Because then I don't have to wash the microplane.
Yeah.
I love that you kind of get that about the less things we have to wash, the better.
Yeah.
So if I was doing a bunch of garlic, I would definitely do that. But I'm just going to use the simple hack of garlic paste because it's pretty good. All right, so first let's get these, what do you call it? Let me get my little colander. And actually,
heat up oil.
We're going to heat up oil, but first I'm going to use that because it's going to drain better. Yes, and I'm going to have you manage the oil if you would.
Yeah. Meaning
keep an eye on it. And it's not going to take long because it's just like a tablespoon.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that shit to hold. Oh, you're brave.
No, I mean, I was near it first, so
okay,
I knew
so
it was
you knew. All right. So let me get the oil, just some canola oil.
Yeah, she's still pretty toasty.
She is still pretty. She's beautiful. So just eyeball. Okay. That seems like a tablespoon, right? All right. So while she's heating up the oil, and when it seems to just the point of smoking, you can move it. I'm going to drain the noodles in my spider. That will really allow all the water to come out. I'm draining my noodles.
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, sorry, this thing was
It's
wobbling.
a little tippy on there.
Yeah.
I know, it's a little tippy on there. Okay, so I'm putting my noodles here. And then I'm going to be adding my amounts. So for my amounts, let's get them on. We've got our garlic. So what did I do with my, there's my garlic. Okay, got our garlic. A little bit of that. And I think I'm dividing this in quarters, so it's probably about a half a clove of garlic. Oh, I forgot the green onion. Oh, shoot.
Do you have any?
Yeah, so it's in the, just grab any of the green onion you see, and if you want to give it a quick chop on that board, that would be awesome. Okay, so meanwhile, I'm also going to need 3/4 teaspoon of the Korean chili pepper. I'm just going to unscrew it this way. So 3/4 teaspoon. That's going to be fiery, I'll tell you that much. And we also need a half teaspoon of crushed red pepper. I'm going to measure because I just want to make sure that I'm being mindful, especially of these spices. And
it's right
then
there.
Oh, you see it?
Mm-hmm.
An 1/8 teaspoon of sugar to help balance our little sugar thing. Let's see. Okay. And then let's see what else. A 1/2 teaspoon of dark soy.
Do you want the greens or whites or both?
Both, please.
Okay.
We probably won't need a full one, but if you just want to chop it all, and then
Yeah.
we'll go from there. 1/2 teaspoon. Whoops, that went a little far. And then I'm also going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of light soy. Get that. This should be fine. Okay, 1/4 teaspoon of light soy. And then 3/4 teaspoon of black vinegar. So I don't have black vinegar, so a hack you can do is doing 2/3 of it as rice vinegar. So I'm going to do a 1/2, but I used my 1/2, so that should actually be about right. Of rice vinegar, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of balsamic, because Chinese black vinegar is a little bit fruity and sweet, so the balsamic helps mimic that a little bit. So since I don't have the black vinegar, I want to get some black vinegar, but I don't have that. There we go.
Do that when we go to the markets in Chinatown.
Oh, I would love to. That gives me something to get. And I think I added quite a bit of vinegar, so I'm going to add just a smidge more sugar, because I think I went a little heavy on the vinegar. Although we do like that, so that's good. And I think we're ready. All we need now is, and I'm going to get the cilantro for the top, and whenever the oil's ready, we will light it on top. Thank you for doing the onions, or the green onions, and I'm going to put a bunch of those on. There we go. And we'll pour it right on top, and I'll use this to help toss it. Okay, and I'm going to clean this up because this thing got a little sticky. Put these over here, out of the way. There we go. Tidy up my space a little bit. Excellent. And all my lovely utensils. Put this there. And get this over here. Awesome. Let's see how everyone's doing in the chat. So Matt says he's having po' boys. Oh, and once we, oh wait, I think I missed a comment from Archie. So Archie says, let me see here. I gotta look back. Let's see, and then Archie. So they raise chickens. And so Archie is teasing about one of the chickens, and Amy says, was talking about that she's gotten a lot bigger. I miss how small she was and how she slept in my little hand. And they get them for eggs. And they all had so much character. I'll get Dad to put the rest of the names on Twitter. And then he called it roast crumpet. And she said, Dad, how dare you? Those tomato plants are in some danger if you carry on. And Amy, I can just imagine you saying that in your lovely accents, because I love the English accents. And then DS, once we have this ready and tossed, would love you to let him know how you learned sourdough making. So we haven't told much about that story. We just kind of briefly talked about it.
What do you think of the oil? I do not heat oil that much.
Let me take a look.
You can can you stick the chopstick in there to try to
Yeah, it's good. I have heard about that. I'm glad you said that. All right. I don't know if we'll need all this. This is a little much. So now I'm going to just pour this on top. And it's going to sizzle, 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 sizzle. And I think that's all we need. And then I'm just going to mix these all up. I'm realizing, Erika, I didn't want to make a lot because we just didn't necessarily need a lot.
Yeah.
But I should have doubled it. I should have made half the recipe, because maybe we won't share with the boys.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't look like that much now, you know? It looks
for a
spicy,
taste,
though.
We got lots of bread coming our way.
That's true. Boy, does it look nice and spicy. It smells amazing.
Why did I wear a white shirt?
Right. Well, I'll let you lean over. Wow. So what I'm going to do now, friends, before I show it to you, is I'm going to put on some of our sesame seeds. And I might just put on a tad more fresh green onions and then some cilantro.
Beautiful.
There we go. I'm gonna put this back in the freezer so it doesn't defrost too much. And I'll show y'all how it looks, and then Erika and I will give it a taste. And since Maddie's not here, I kind of feel like you snooze, you lose, since there's not very many. And I don't think Uncle Andy would mind us
He's
making,
in the other room like,
yes.
Are you sure?
So see this? The smell is amazing. It is so aromatic. The one thing that's really cool about using the hot oil to just bloom everything is it's quick and it doesn't get burnt. So yeah, let's have at it. I'm gonna actually double up like that so that I can try to get. You're much better with chopsticks than I am.
I just don't want to spill it on myself. I'm trying to grab a shorter noodle.
Oh. Okay. That is really good. I mean, so like the chili crisp oils that Archie and May and I are fond of, they're complex, right? They've been made over a long period of time, lots of different ingredients that we're probably not even aware of, but for a really yummy like hit of spice and the vinegar, I think it's actually really tasty. Like if you go with some,
I love the vinegar.
Some seared tofu on it, you know.
I'd be curious as to how the black vinegar would differ from this.
Yeah. Well, and I can taste the sweetness from the balsamic.
Yeah.
So I think that little bit really does help.
I'm trying to get the green onions in there.
I know. I wish I could get one of those. I'm not super good with chopsticks.
Better also eating this on camera. I'm just gonna.
And also they are slippery. Like like when I eat sushi, they're not so slippery. Okay. A little touch here. But there's something really addictive about the flavor. And I think you're right. I think it's the vinegars. It's really tasty. So one of my takeaways is I love how thick they are. However, I don't know that I would need it
5
to be 5. Yeah. I might do 3.
3 to 4, yeah.
3 to 4. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I look at it as it's just more calories. But do we really need it? So, but it really worked. They become one unit, even though I didn't feel like I got all the bubbles out, which I didn't. They really become one unit. So I was pretty pleased with that.
I just left my chopsticks floating.
No, you are good.
I think if I'm going to continue, I need to put my jacket on because I'm
good
not
idea.
risking that again.
But super tasty, friends. Highly recommend. And stay tuned for more about doing it like with pot stickers because I really want to try that.
Okay, yeah. Layered up now.
So would you do that? Would you try this again?
Yeah.
Something like that? And honestly, just even the recipe for the sauce to do on ramen, like prepared ramen, that we get. I know the market near us, River Wards, they have like a frozen ramen that looks more authentic that I thought, bet you those are good noodles. That would be easy for me to get. But she knows when we go to the market, I actually want to pick up a bunch of different pastas or noodles that they have there.
Yeah, they have really good noodles.
Very good. Really yummy, really yummy. Let me see what's going on in the chat. So please have more. I'm going to have another bite. I keep expecting Matt to walk in the door and he would be all over it. So, so talk about sourdough.
So the reason I started trying to learn was because, because I was working at a bakery.
That's right.
In the last year. Not baking. I was a barista, so coffee.
But learned a lot about that, yeah.
And we would have day-old baguettes that I would get to take home, and I just wasn't buying bread, which was great.
Nice, yeah.
Because it saves money, and also the baguettes were better than most store-bought bread, at least like the cheap stuff that I was buying.
And so many good things there.
When I got my current job, I was like, I don't want to go back to buying bread. I would like to make it. And I had about 2 weeks off in between before I started.
So that is why, because you had mentioned before that it was between jobs.
Yep. So I just used the internet as my resource. I looked up how to make a starter. I read a few different blog posts, not even that thoroughly, quite honestly. But I was like, we'll just see if it works. It took about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks for my starter to become active.
Okay.
And then I tried my first loaf. I looked up recipes for beginners. And that's when I tried the one that I believe you linked below. And it was good.
Yeah. But you were so that first time you're like, wow, this is.
Yeah, it wasn't where I wanted it to be,
Of
but I
course.
was like, okay, this it was my first loaf, and
Are these mine?
yeah.
I think that's right. Go ahead.
So I was happy with the progress, and I was still off work at that point for another few days. So I was like, let's try another one. So
I love that.
the next one I tried was a lot better. I didn't do a beginner recipe. I did just a regular one, and I think because the first time I didn't do the stretch and folds, that wasn't involved in the process. So I think that made a huge difference. And I do think the cold proof helps a lot.
When the time in the fridge, like what we had last night. And what's the maximum you would usually leave it in the fridge?
I think probably 48 hours would be like the most. I usually do it like close to 36, 48. It just depends like when I need or want to bake off the bread. But I've tried a few different recipes. One that I make quite frequently is like a wheat flax loaf. That one has a lot of flavor.
That was the one we were talking about.
Have you tried that? I don't know if
I've not tried yours, but I would definitely be interested in making that. So I think that would be good.
I alternate between that, other partially wheat loaves, the standard one that we made today. I haven't done much in terms of like seasonings and herbs inside of it, just because when I want bread, I want it to be a little more neutral. Like the nuttiness from the seeds is nice, but it
has more applications then.
Yeah, which is what, like I feel like focaccia, like when I do like the rosemary focaccia, like that's where I want.
You can play with it all, right? Exactly.
But that's just a personal choice.
Well, I will say one thing, I want you to think about is if you ever, because I remember you talking about the one focaccia recipe that you made for Super Bowl. So if you ever want to do any focaccia together, I don't know if you want to enter this crazy world of live streaming, but that would be wonderful because I haven't made it in a very long time, and the one I made before I wasn't super happy with, so I'm open. So just think about that. You don't have to decide right now. But and I brought forks because friends, I don't know if you all have this happen, but I feel like I was trying my chopsticks, and it was just not. It was not having it. They were not working. So I finally gave up and got the old fork out because it was just not cooperating. Let's see how we're doing here in the chat. So, by the way, Eugenia, I love it, and I agree with you. She says, Amy, you have my every sympathy, you poor long-suffering child. And then let me see what else we have here. And then Eugenia said that she has her eye out for black vinegar locally, but I think I'm going to have to go to the Asian market in Portland to get it. Yes, yeah, I mean, locally I can't find it, but I think I know when we go to the Asian market we'll be able to get it.
I feel like I've seen it at Wegmans in the past, but I know there's no Wegmans in the city.
There's no Wegmans in the city. Wegmans is a northeast grocery chain that is phenomenal. And in the suburb we lived in, New Jersey, we have one nearby, and your mama has one by where she lives, and it is amazing. And so Amy says she lives off noodles and love to try lots of sauces like cheesy sauces and Chinese sauces. Dad, can you tell how obsessed I am with them? Yes, Amy, you would love this. This is so simple and great for a cold noodle application, but very delicious, very easy, simple. And by the way, in her recipe, she said if you don't have the dark soy, you could just use regular soy. You don't have to do both. And this would be good for your mom as long as we use tamari. So like to make it gluten-free, we wouldn't use either of the soys. We would just use tamari. That was a good substitute for that. And then Diaz says you move like a pro when making it. Very impressive. And Eugenia says, I've been making homemade noodles for chicken and noodles for 55 plus years. Could make egg noodles in my sleep. Oh, I love egg noodles. That sounds amazing. Do you cut them by hand, Eugenia, or I just was curious, like what shapes you like to make? Yes, you have to let me know about that. Would love to know that. And LOL says, I enjoy your live. I took a break. Now my break is up. And today, Sunday, I've got to do 4 trays of baked ziti and 3 trays of lasagna. So I'm going, well, LOL, thanks for popping in. And happy making of all that food. That sounds phenomenal. So thank you much. Both look wonderful and keep up the good work. Thank you, LOL. LOL. Santiago also has a great YouTube channel that has been here. I'll have to go back and look and see when LOL came on, but they have a huge following and they have been on for a very long time, making lots of different food videos, which is awesome.
Nice.
So I'm going to go get your uncle and see if he wants to have a taste of this. Let me go grab him. Come on out, I want you to taste the noodles. Unless Matt gets here, then he'll probably scarf it.
I think there's 2 there, right?
Are there 2 there one for each of them?
They could share.
All right. So we'll tidy up, and we still have, about
25.
It's 53. So 25 minutes till we can cut into the loaf. So we're going to tidy up a little bit. So are there any new recipes or any new ways, hacks of doing things anyone has found that they would like to share? I would love to know. I'm just obsessed with a lot of these different creative things that are happening. I love, the standard old-fashioned recipes, and I love fusion recipes, but I also think that something like the noodles, what they're doing, that she had found, and Look At You did not create that. She had seen the trend on TikTok, and I think the trend was actually called the rice paper, like it was the trending TikTok rice paper trend. And she said if you looked up rice paper talk, you would see a lot of different things on TikTok. And I know rice paper actually is very popular in TikTok. There's all sorts of ways you'll see it. But yeah, so I just love like these new creative things. And one of the things I know there's a lot of, There's a lot of, some people love the short form videos. Some people don't love the short form videos. But what I love is I think they are quick ways of getting you intrigued about new ideas, new techniques. And then you can look for long form that kind of give you more tips and tricks for making it happen. And then Eugenia says, I usually use the pizza cutter for noodles. Oh, okay. And you just roll it out, and then you just kind of, that's great. I use, not the pizza cutter, but I use a fluted one from my grandma's apricot crisscross when I have to cut the pastry and make it look all pretty across. And you're right, because it's just easy. You can roll it right up, which makes it really nice. So you can try one of the noodles. It was a cold noodle. They leave one for Maddie. And watch your shirt, because it's already had a victim.
Is that you?
Yes, I would recommend a fork, and then save the last one for Maddie so we can try.
Why?
Because otherwise we're eating it. But be careful, because what do you think? We thought it was quite yummy.
That's pretty good.
Isn't that pretty good? Pretty yummy.
How do you do that?
We're magic, aren't we? Are we magic?
Have you not been watching?
No.
I was working.
Yeah, he was working. Archie, do you think he was working? I'm wondering. Do we think he was working? Does anyone really think he was working in there?
Do you think Matt really...
I want him to try it so that I can show him how easy it is and he could make it. Where is he? Will you text the boy and find out where he is? I thought he was coming over too. Make sure he's okay. Maybe he's looking for parking. That's one of the problems here.
Where's the bread?
It's cool.
Yeah, you haven't even seen it yet. In fact, let's put it here so that we can all be reminded upon how delicious it is.
Stare at it for the next
and
25 minutes.
How much we can't wait to dive into it.
25 minutes.
Isn't it awesome though? Didn't she do a great job?
Yeah.
Well, I assisted. I was a good assistant, but so delicious. And you know what? If you weren't here, he would be ruining this beauty and just breaking off some. Oh, bring me your phone, by the way, because I can get some pictures of it. Or I might have you. I'll give you his phone. Have you take up pictures because you'll be. I usually go over by the window because you get some great natural light. Yes, and then we'll have that.
About rice flour to roll out the noodles.
All right, so, you use rice flour to roll out the noodles. So that's what you use, so it's not sticking, Eugenia. Wonderful. And Post says hi, and DS says hi, Andy.
Hey, Bo.
I think,
Yes.
I'm wondering if Archie and Amy are off for a bit. Okay, so you take it wherever you'd like it to be. And if you want to put it on something else and then retransfer it, what would you like me to get you to put it on?
Definitely might just do like a plain plate.
A plate like white or yellow?
White.
Will you hand that to her? Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Did you reach out to the little one?
Many thank yous.
You told me to get the phone.
Oh, no, I didn't know if, oh, right, that would have made sense. See? Did you do it? Oh, you are here, Amy. Good, good, good. Awesome. So, Amy, you said you love noodles, you love cheesy noodles. Are there anything, do you like to cook? And what's your favorite thing to cook? Because I know your dad loves to cook, but I was curious about you. And also, Erika, it's kind of boring on the back with gray, but I put things on that white little tray, or you could even move the tray if you wanted to. But yes, I would love to know. And also, Eugenia, I love all the ideas with the noodles. What is because you were making bread with your 5 daughters. Bless your heart, by the way, and bless your family. I know, isn't that wonderful? But tell me, what's your favorite bread to make? I would love to know that. And DS, what is the favorite bread that you like to make that you and Ruby enjoy? I would love to know that as well. So, and by the way, this is a good time for me to say, for anyone that enjoys this content, please make sure to like and subscribe and share the video. Share my YouTube page for anyone that you think that might be interested. Again, we are not experts here, but we love what we do. We love sharing the information. We like having a good time. And yeah, we're just kind of a little crazy that we do this thing.
So how's it going?
It's going well. We're actually ahead of schedule, which we're never ahead of schedule. So.
Yeah.
And it is, so did you, you know what?
I couldn't talk to him.
I know you couldn't talk to him.
You're gonna ask
Absolutely.
me again.
I was going to ask you again because so DS loves making baguettes. Oh, Archie's back. Yes, the butler has arrived. How did your prayers go at the temple, he asks.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
So yes, baguettes. So I've never made baguettes, DS. But that sounds wonderful. But maybe I'll feel brave after mastering sourdough that I'll feel brave enough to try baguettes. Do you want the wire thing?
Oh, yeah, I'll grab it.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah, I think my biggest reason
what do you
not
wanna
to make
do?
baguettes has been fitting them in the oven and stuff, and the proofing process. And I've seen people like roll towels to do it.
Ooh, so tell me more.
Like for shaping, because they have to rolling towels and then like flouring them and like leaving them to lie in between.
Oh, that is complicated.
But I wonder now if I could bake them on my pizza stone and get a good crisp.
You could make smaller ones, right? Because didn't we used to have some little ones, or maybe it was a different bakery that I know I've seen
I think
some smaller
so.
ones. So we could definitely do that. We'll just put that over there. Yeah, I didn't even think about what you would need to do for that. But so what is your next, what do you want to do, or is there anything you want to do next on the bread making? I know you talked about maybe exploring some more different kinds of flours or whatever, but like, is there any other, besides baguettes, is there another kind of bread that you want to play around with?
It's not something I've actively thought about. This is a very like passive hobby for me. It feeds me, it feeds my friends, family. And it is enjoyable for me, but maybe when I have more free time, I'd be interested in like exploring it more. And when it's winter again, but now it's summer, I just want to be outside.
Of course.
I do like to cook in the summer, but
it's different kind of cooking.
And have my oven on at 375 in our apartment. It's gonna be toasty in there.
Yes, yes. I will say.
Did you see?
There's some more. Yeah, there's some more. Yeah, there's some more questions. So Amy says, I don't cook a lot independently. It's usually helping Dad. Oh, I bet you're a great sous chef, by the way, Amy. But I love to cook cheese sauce for cauliflower sauces. Wonderful.
I love cauliflower.
Oh yes, like cauliflower au gratin. And oh my gosh, oh yum. And then DS asks, what's your favorite vegan dish meal that you like? And while you're thinking, I'll also say that Amy said, Dad showed me how to do it, and after lots of practice, I can do it without burning it, thankfully, but I love cheesy sauces.
And then
Wait, let her
she
think.
also said, Erika, what do you think of kasha bread?
Okay.
Yes.
That's probably an easier question. So I do really enjoy it. It's more of like a special occasion thing when we make it, especially
Because you
just
make it
like-
right with lots of oil, which makes it
yeah,
good.
but even without a lot of oil, it doesn't save, I think, the same way
Yeah.
that this does.
I would agree.
And like you can use it for a sandwich. It's really great for a sandwich, but I just don't use it the same way. But I've done it for a few parties
It's a great party bring.
But I love it. It's really good.
Absolutely.
As for a favorite vegan dish, one that I'm making, it depends on the season, for sure.
So like for summer coming up, is there something you're kind of looking forward to making more of?
In the summer, I do really like a vermicelli bowl, like Vietnamese style vermicelli bowl.
So you got me onto Vietnamese food. So I had never, and we've talked about this on stream before, because your uncle and I made our own vermicelli bowls, and he helped me. Like, he was active participant, cutting and chopping and assembling. And I'd never had Vietnamese cooking until, so up at the lake, there's a town farther away, about a half hour away, right? That has a great Vietnamese place. And so we went there, and I think I ordered what your dad got, which was a lemongrass beef vermicelli bowl, and I was blown away. And honestly, Vietnamese cooking or food, especially we have some great places here, are what I seek. You know, sometimes when you're ordering out, you kind of want to splurge, or like looking for like that really fattening dish, or you're craving something specific, right? But Vietnamese, not only do I crave, but I actually crave when I want a healthier alternative to takeout, because I feel like I'm eating half a salad, and then really there's very little oil that's used, maybe for some of the meat, but everything else is very light and fresh.
Just so many herbs and like light flavors. So for me, you soak the rice noodles to get them nice, and then chop up what other vegetables you have: cucumber, shredded carrots,
radishes,
mint, radishes.
And I love the mint. The mint is so yummy.
Mint is so important. And then if I'm being lazy, I get Trader Joe's has a sriracha marinated tofu.
Okay.
That's just already ready, so then I chop that up, or frozen edamame defrosted.
Okay.
But you can marinate your own tofu and then chop it up on top. And then like a peanut hoisin sauce.
Yeah.
Or
do you like the numchuck the one that's got the vinegars?
I think that has fish sauce in it.
It does. But have you tried that? There is now a vegan fish sauce. I'll have to.
Yes, I have tried it. So I've tried a few
good?
different sauces, and like I do like the lighter ones as well. It just depends what ingredients I have.
Okay.
But those are good.
Was it a good replacement, do you think?
I haven't used it as much as for those sauces.
For that
I've used it more in like Thai cooking,
like pad Thai or anything.
Pad Thai curries.
We'll have to try that. I was actually just talking to Uncle Andy a couple weeks ago, and I said we need to have, which I should actually have you more over for dinners, but let's do a vermicelli bowl, because Matt would like it. Like, we all could do our protein how we liked it, and then, but I would love to try that fish sauce in that, because one of the things I love about, and I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, the numchuck, or whatever that.
I'm not sure.
Whatever that, like, it's basically fish sauce, vinegar, water, hot pepper. It's pretty simple.
It's got to be sugar in there probably.
And there's sugar, yes, but it's like there's no oil. Like, it's just kind of a sweet and sour sauce that's super light that really keeps everything very refreshing, which is cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But we should do that. That would be very fun. And
pumpernickel. That was the one bread I really wanted to make.
Oh, DrewTube. So DrewTube, he's another YouTuber, and so Drew, welcome. And Drew, I know you're vegetarian, I believe. I'm not sure if you're vegetarian or vegan. My niece is vegan. His channel, he does such creative things. I mean, really, I would check out. The last thing I thought was so creative you did, he made this thing with, what were the kind of mushrooms you made? Drew, no, it was hen of the woods, whatever, maitake mushrooms. So they're called a hen of the woods mushroom. And then he also made this twist on guacamole with Asian flavors that I thought sounded really, really good. He has amazing stuff, really good stuff. Actually, everyone does. Archie has a great channel. So DrewTube has a great channel. Archie has a great channel. In fact, he just made pork belly, Asian pork belly, that looks to die for. So please check him out. He has a variety of content and is so well known for his pies. He makes the best meat pies. And then DS is also a great and accomplished chef, and he is coming up with a brand new YouTube channel that's going to be a variety of different things, from cooking to interviewing.
Leaving now?
Oh, goodness. So are you surprised that he is procrastinating, running late? I don't think she should have any bread. So check him out. And Eugenia said, I made French bread by spraying water in the oven as it baked. Yes, I've heard about that technique. Oh, and DS said he enjoys making rye too. I love rye bread. Nothing like the smell of freshly baked bread.
I love rye bread. When I looked up the pumpernickel recipe, it just was, it was intimidating, I think. There was a lot of ingredients and steps that I didn't feel like trying at the time. Maybe someday.
Yes, exactly. I will say, for me, pumpernickel, I love a pumpernickel bread. It reminds me of, I think a really yummy application is to make a really moist pumpernickel bread and have like little slices, so you make almost a appetizer loaf and cut it thin, and then you could put anything on top, but especially is, or what is the cheese spread that is well known in the South? Pimento cheese spread. That is amazing on pumpernickel bread. And if you want to broil it like that, just it's to die for. The contrast of the heartiness of flavor of pumpernickel with the creaminess and yumminess of cheese with a little bit of spice from the pimento is absolutely outstanding. And DS wanted to know if you've ever had chocolate avocado pudding.
I think someone else made it one time.
Okay. And you're not a big chocolate person though, right? Or you
No,
are?
I like chocolate. Just for me, like if I have avocados, I would rather use them for a savory dish.
That's true. It's hard for me to not, yeah.
Pudding's not my favorite, so it's not something I'd go out of my way to do.
Maybe the texture?
But my friend made a mousse one time with aquafaba vegan mousse, and that was quite good.
Absolutely. There's a place in the city called Pure Sweets that does a lot of wonderful concoctions, all vegan. And I had key lime pie there that was made with avocado. And so it had a similar texture to like a key lime custard, different, but it was mimicking, but the flavor was delicious. The flavor was a delicious lime. And Amy had a question, what's your favorite types of bread you've made?
I think I like the flax loaf the best, honestly.
Okay.
It's just like has a nice nutty flavor.
And flax is really healthy. That's really good for you.
Yeah, so it's a flax sourdough wheat. So
Absolutely.
it's a smaller loaf than this one. It has a little bit less.
Is that due to what goes into it, or is it?
I think it's just the recipe that I
So it was a
drew
totally separate.
from.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
But heartier. That's kind of a heartier bread, right?
It's still pretty light, just the way that it's made, and it also depends on kind of how fine the flaxseed is. So at the beginning, I was using one that was just like coarsely ground that I had done myself, but then I bought flax meal, and it's a lot lighter.
Okay.
I don't know better, just different.
It's different.
But
And by the way, one of the things you mentioned about the reason she does sourdough is it is amazing how long it lasts. So the last one, she had brought over a loaf after our sweet Shelby had passed, which was just such a wonderful, it was just a wonderful gift that you sent that touched me and your uncle in such a big way. And it lasted, like it, you know, like oftentimes you get fresh loaves, and you know this, and like that next day, it's different. And then that next day, like day 2 afterwards, or I'd maybe say day 3, it's just like, okay, gotta toast it, I gotta like do something different. Your loaf, like we were doing it toasted, not because we had to, because that's just what we wanted to make. It's amazing how there's a moisture content that it's like the longest fresh bread that has ever lasted. And it didn't last super long because we were just eating it, but I'm impressed with that.
I usually feel that I have to toast it after day 2.
Okay.
That's a personal feeling. It does.
Like on day 3. So you have day 1 that you make it, then day
day 2, like I'll probably toast it
Oh,
because
yeah?
I like it warm.
Oh,
you
yes.
know, like
Okay, gotcha.
But I don't
it
toast
plain.
it for like that long.
Okay.
But
And I didn't toast it on day 2. It was delicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the big thing about sourdough is just don't store it in the fridge because that's going to dry it out.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I didn't know until I started making it. But what I do sometimes, if I know I don't have people to share it with and it's going to take me a while to go through, I'll slice some of it the first day and freeze it straight away. And then I have a stash for when
that is
I
really
don't have
good.
time to bake.
That's a good tip, to slice and then freeze. And I think because I'll be making some, so I think that's what I'll have to do besides giving it away. I think giving away is a lovely thing to do. Flax has lots of omega-3. And Amy says, I feel like bread is usually better the next few days. I'm not sure if it's just a personal thing, though. I wonder if it's the flavor, too. Because anything, I think, after you make it, kind of, sometimes different flavors can develop. So maybe that could be it also. I know there's a lot of dishes that are really good the next day. They just from sitting a little bit. So we are getting close.
Yeah, just about 10 more minutes.
Oh my gosh. It is so hard to wait. I cannot even tell you. So when I did the 500 subscriber stream and we were making these chocolate chip cookies that they had to sit for, I think, 20 minutes before you ate them, she recommended. That was so difficult.
No, they're so fragrant.
Yes, that was so difficult. But this, like my stomach is just growling, and I have no good reason for it to be growling. So friends, why have you here? Why we have a few more minutes before we cut into the loaf? Is there, one of the things I really deeply care about is the content that people want to see on my channel. So we know I have May planned out. And DS, by the way, I don't know if you noticed the whole last thing I'm going to be making, which is falafel. And I'm going to be utilizing your recipe. So I've already copied and pasted what you had sent me, but I might check on a couple things with you as it gets closer to that. But I did want to try that out, and I did want to make that in my air fryer to give that a go and see if I could make kind of a healthier version of falafel. So, but I'd love to know some content that you guys would like to see, and while you're thinking about that and some things you want to see this summer in June, July, or August, I also will tell you that coming up this week is another Wings Wednesday in my air fryer, and I'm so excited about this recipe because we've been hearing all the buzz about AI this, AI that. We're going to be taken over by the machines and all this, computers and all this stuff. So I was intrigued and wanted to try AI for some recipes. So I have a bunch of other wing recipes I want to try, but I thought let's just give AI a chance. So in ChatGPT, I actually inputted in there, give me a unique chicken wing recipe. And like I said, give me the best unique chicken wing recipe, something like that in the initial ChatGPT. So the first thing it spit out was some Korean sticky chicken wings, which sounded delightful, but I'm making a lot of Asian style and have more in the future. So that to me wasn't the uniqueness I was looking for. So then I said, can you think of something a little more unique? And so it sent me these honey mustard, air fryer honey mustard chicken wings. So what I love about it is they have a great spice rub because as you guys know, one of the ways I make good chicken wings is by tossing them in the spices, letting them dry in the refrigerator overnight before the night of the cook. And but then it also has, obviously it's a honey mustard sauce, but it has a little kick with some spice in there and also a little vinegar so that it's not too sticky sweet and everything. So super excited about that recipe. That is on Wednesday. So we're giving AI a try and doing it with some wings in the air fryer. So I'm super excited about that stream. And so Amy, let's see here. We've got
Paella.
Paella, I see there. And also want to go back here. So do we have a future chef on our hands? And Amy, right, exactly. And Eugenia says, when I bake, the neighbors have come to expect to share. No complaints thus far. Oh, I'm sure. That's such a great smell. You have everyone running to you, Eugenia. And Amy says, haha, it's just a few things I pick up from my dad over the years. And you said, please make paella. Okay, so remember I wrote it down at the 500 subscribers. So I will figure out a time, either June, July, or August. Keep me to it, Amy, that I'm going to give my hand to paella. I've made a version, from some recipe I found, and it was fine. It was tasty, but I feel like I need to sharpen my skills with that. Have you ever had paella? Because they could be vegan.
Yeah, I think it was when I was still a vegetarian, but I don't think there's any dairy or egg.
No.
But yeah, we had it at a restaurant in New York.
Ooh.
Don't remember.
Like a Cuban restaurant, maybe?
I think so.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was really good.
That's really good. Excellent. Oh, paella would be great. It would be a challenge for me. Yeah, so, and I would invite you all to partake in that challenge with me. And then if we make any wrong turns, y'all can help me get it turned around. So I'm going to get out the knife. Did you find the knife already? And I forget, because I remember I don't have great bread knives, so I forget which one you liked.
It's always hard to slice in initially. We can start with that one, and
Which
then
one?
I'm gonna
This one?
that one, and
Okay.
I'll have
Get
this
that.
ready in case.
Okay. So
This
let
one's
us
good
get
for
some of
cutting
our
the
stuff
bottom.
together. We'll put this for Maddie, who is hopefully going to be here before we eat all the bread. So I'm giving him this little noodle for when he arrives. And we got our plates. I'm going to get some olive oil out.
Yeah, I actually poured a little bit into that bowl with some salt.
Perfect. Perfect. Do you want any spice in there or just this? Oh, no, because you want to just taste it.
I do like spice, but we'll try just the salted oil for
And
now.
I salted the butter, so I actually put some good butter in here and softened it and sprinkled with some flaky salt. So we can taste it first with just that. And then here is our beautiful hummus that we'll try it with later. So let me get another little knife for that. I cannot even express to y'all how hungry I am to taste all this. Like, my stomach is just going crazy. All right, so let's get that.
I mean, 5 minutes we could do.
Well, actually, I think it's more like 3 because I think it was 2. It was going to be like 2:52.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably fine now.
Yes.
But
Oh, okay. Okay.
well, it sounds like Matt will be up soon.
Yes, I
anyway,
think he'll
so
be here
we can,
soon.
We can slice
Exactly.
into it once he gets up
Exactly.
here.
So Eugenia says, my best bread knife is a Ginzu knife from the 70s. Oh my gosh, I remember the Ginzu commercials. Well, it's funny. Like, actually, your mom got me onto these, which are, I think, Archie, you have these, the Victorinox knives. I've not tried their bread knife. I don't know.
That's the one I have.
So you like their, okay, so. maybe
It's
that's-
always hard to cut in this one initially because it's just so like fluffy and delicate.
Yeah,
And especially when it's a little warm, but
absolutely.
it does work pretty well.
And then I had bought years ago from someone at the church we went to actually, another knife company called Cutco, and I had some good experience with Cutco knives I had bought years before that with someone I knew, but the Cutco bread knife, I've rarely used it, and it was very much a disappointment. Like, remember that was the big long one here?
Oh yeah.
And it just seems like it should be so much better than it is, but it really isn't that great.
Yeah.
Let me show y'all. That one. So this is the Cutco one, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's so narrow, but we just were kind of disappointed in it, for sure. So we have all sorts of knives out, and we can uncover the hummus. I love the little basil on top. So everything looks beautiful.
Yeah, this one's gonna be short, but I think it'll be easy to control to start it. And then
Yeah, that's
this
the thing
one-
that's
this
hard about
one,
that is the shortness.
Which is the same one I have at home. I use to like kind of cut the bottom just as
The bottom is what
final
can be a little
separate.
tricky, for sure.
And I don't want to like ruin it as I'm cutting it, but
I think you can totally start cutting into it.
Yeah?
That's all I would say.
now wait for.
Because he'll get here. He'll get here.
This one's cutting quite well actually.
It's just, I'm so excited. But you're right, the length is what makes that one. And this is like a just Chicago cutlery. This one I've had since I got married. This was a
But
knife
it's
that we got
very,
when we first
very
got.
sturdy, so it's cutting all the way down, and then I'm just gonna, now that it's
Perfect.
through,
Oh, that's a good
do
tip.
this to make the final.
Because that we know is a really good knife. And hear it, that final crust.
Almost.
I know, right? Oh, I heard it go pop. Oh, here, I'll bring this one up. Look at this, friends. Beautiful, gorgeous. Here, I'll show this one too. These look awesome. Oh, here he is in the nick of time.
Just in time for the cutting.
Oh, this looks amazing. So then you flip one, right?
To make it, I mean, you could make these nice, pretty long slices. However,
we prefer to-
It's so much easier.
Yes. And then we'll flip this though just to protect it
Yeah.
though, right? To keep it moist.
Keep
yes.
it not
Yes. So
exposed.
flip both.
Welcome.
And
Are
these are
you?
the
I didn't
noodles to try, by the way.
notice.
These are the one more noodle to try that because I think you would like the sauce, and I can let you know about. Ooh!
Okay.
And would you go get your father too, please? This will save for Uncle Andy. He loves the.
Oh, this is where again, it's a lot harder to slice when
Do you want to try the
warm.
thinner one? Do you want to try this one?
Sure. I could also do thicker slices, and that helps, but.
I'm all for thick slices.
Okay.
That's all good. I was thinking because it actually is thin, it might be easier. So I don't know if you can tell, but look at the pole. Like it is so moist inside. I just can't even tell you. It is, Archie, it actually kind of reminds me of the pole of really yummy pretzels. And I'm going to go right in because I can.
Mm-hmm.
Putting a little butter. Mmm. You need to dip on in there. You need to get in that. Do you want to use this one first and then we'll get a big one?
Sure.
Just tear this apart. Oh, that's a good part. So the chew, the moisture, the flavor, it is outstanding. Like I would be flipping if I was at a restaurant where they served me this, like at the table. Like it is awesome. What do you think? Because she's the judge. What do you think?
It tastes like.
So like with all your loaves, are you happy with how this one turned out?
Yeah.
It is so stinking good. This is for you. So you can grab, this is salted butter. You gotta taste your noodle first. You can't have any bread until you taste your noodle.
By the way, part 1 was really good.
Oh yeah, thank
You should
you.
watch it on YouTube.
This boy.
Ooh, the bottom is great. Because it has like the density.
So what is this noodle actually made of?
Rice paper.
Rice paper. You've had rice noodles.
Just paper.
But I was checking also the sauce to see if you like the sauce. Isn't that a good texture though?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Thumbs up?
I like a little bit of heat it has.
Mm-hmm. And you can adjust it.
All right, I'm gonna go in for the hummus.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this bread is so good.
This bread is flippin' fantastic. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm actually hoping to do
You can
I
grab
have some
that.
stir fry rice noodles that I'm gonna do with
You can grab that.
like sriracha and oh god, what else? Like soy sauce.
I will send you the
sesame
recipe
oil.
for that, by the way. So this
It
is,
my favorite sourdough bread.
yes, it is absolutely, and this is for if you want to try the hummus. Mmm,
That's really good.
mmm.
Sorry.
It's really good with the hummus.
Man.
I am so sorry we're eating this in front of you. I so wish you could all try this.
I'm not. I'm just
More for us.
I'm really excited.
I just can't even, it is so good. And I love the spice in this, Erika. Spice is so yummy. So fresh. So good.
Yeah, that basil.
Yes, all the bubbles. And Diaz said it was a 10. He can smell it from there. Amy says, I think Dad's bread knife is from the restaurant. Oh, probably. It's probably a really good one. And then Diaz says, I tasted that. Eugenia says, amazing. Bizik, Amy is drooling. Hubs can keep his hand off. Haha, can't blame him at all. LOL. And then Diaz, a family breaking bread. Exactly, Diaz. That's what makes bread special.
You really want that piece, huh?
And then Matt says hi from Archie and Amy.
Hello.
I mean, Amy and Archie say hi to Matt.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Crumbs hit me in the
That's so good.
face.
I'm just gonna have bread for dinner.
I know. What do they say? A man cannot live on bread alone? Isn't that a saying? They lie.
Something like that.
Cut the rest of this half, because why
Mhm.
not?
You guys didn't even crack in the wine.
It was so good. Mm.
I smushed this thing
I forgot about it.
quite gracefully.
Mm.
I forgot it last night, forgot it today.
So good. Oh, friends, thank you so much for joining the stream. If you were sitting from afar, just enjoying without getting into the crazy chat, I still appreciate your views and I appreciate your support. So thank you all for coming to the stream. Thank you, Amy and DS and Archie and Matthew Whittington and Eugenia. Thank you, Drew, for stopping in. Thank you, Poe. I appreciate that. It's so awesome having you on the streams. I'm glad the earlier times work for you because I know it makes it difficult with your South Africa time. And I'm trying to think if I missed anybody else. Who? Yeah, I said to Matthew Whittington.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was it. And anyone else who's watching from afar, from my kitchen to yours until we eat again. Thank you, friends.